Greetings, fellow makers! This is the Real Melky. Welcome back to my factory. Today, we are continuing our work on the Epyon Gundam. We start the torso. Yes. Just the torso, not the ab piece. So just the blue, the white, and the gold. So yeah. We got a lot to do, so let's get started. We're going to need a lot of stuff for this build. So, today we'll be using 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm foam. We will also need some pattern pieces. Come here, like these right here. Whenever I finish with my pattern pieces, I put them in an envelope. That way, they don't get lost, because things get lost here all the time. Now, you will also need a marker of some sort, an exacto knife, or a box cutter, a bevel cutter. While not exactly necessary, it will come in very handy. You also need something to weigh your patterns down onto your foam so it doesn't move around. I use 1, 2, 3 blocks. I can't talk today. You will also need a heat gun to seal your foam. A hairdryer will not work. It does not get hot enough. You need a heat gun. You will need a rotary tool of some sort. I'm going to be using a wood burner to add the details. And as I've never built anything like this before, as you can see, it's not quite human shaped. So I practiced a lot. This is my prototype. I think I got most of it down. You will also need a way to glue the pieces together. I'll be using barge contact cement. And since I'll be using barge contact cement, I'll be wearing a respirator. This one right here. You need one of these. As well as a dust mask and a face shield. And also something to hydrate with. All right, let's get started. Now, before you start cutting, gluing, and all that stuff, you want to heat seal your foam. This is where your heat gun will be useful. All we're going to do is lightly go over our pieces. It's kind of hard to see this on camera, but what's happening is the pores in the foam are being closed because of the heat. I'll show you on another piece. This is the prototype of the shoulder pad I made. And what we're going to do is heat seal this piece right here. Now, like I said, it's better to do this before you cut out foam and glue it together and whatnot, because the heat from your heat gun can cause the glue you use, whether it's hot glue, oh, especially if it's hot glue, or contact cement or whatever, to let go. Alright, you see how this piece is shinier than this piece? That's because the pores in this have been sealed and this has not. So, I'm just going to go ahead and heat seal all the rest of my foam. And I'll be back when that's done. You do want to be extra careful when you're heat sealing 4mm foam or anything lower, because that foam is so thin, like that thin, exactly that thin. It's possible for the heat to go all the way through the foam and start warping and curling it in a funny way. Most of the time you don't want that. So just be careful and go slow. I don't actually have this thing on right now, so that's why you're not hearing it. Just be careful. And yeah, I will continue heat sealing foam now. Okay, all of our pieces have been cut out. All of them. Now, you can go ahead and glue all this stuff together, and the glue, most likely, will hold. But I want this to be my best build yet. So I'm going to look at all the edges to see if there are any tear marks or anything like that that need to be cleaned up. Like this right here. This might work, but I'm going to go ahead and use my rotary tool to clean this up. So I will be back when that's done. Okay, pieces are cut out, as you can see here, and this pile right here. Any edges have been cleaned up with the rotary tool. And it is time to glue them together. But first, public safety announcement. Whenever you're using contact cement, wear your respirator and work in a well-ventilated area, because this stuff is super toxic. Also, if you have any pets, kick them out of your work area, because you don't want them to read this stuff either. And I don't know if they make respirators for pets, so just kick them out. Now, when you're using contact cement, you want to apply it to both surfaces you want to attach. Wait for it to fully dry. I live in Texas, so that's usually about 5 minutes. But I usually give it about 10 or 15 just to be safe. Let the two pieces fully dry and then attach it. Quite simple. And now while these pieces are drying, I'm just going to go ahead and glue the rest of these. Okay, 2 minutes has passed. You know what that means? It's time to put these things together. And there was much rejoicing. Yay, yay! No. But seriously, here we go. So, I'm going to start by attaching pieces 1 and 2 at edge A. And just so you can actually see what I'm doing this time, I'm going to move some stuff out of the way. So, here we go. I'm going to start at the top and slowly push the edges together, getting this front edge right here first. And now, make sure everything is firmly attached, and then you fold the pieces together like that. And now I'm going to do that for the rest of these pieces. That's the wrong piece. Here we go. When you're building something with 2 mirroring sides, you want to make sure you are attaching the right pieces together, because I've attached the wrong pieces together once and it did not work. So just be sure to double check everything and make sure you got the right pieces. Make sure your edges are lined up, nice and flush. Sometimes you can use the surface of your table, but sometimes you just have to use your fingers. Either way, it's fine. Just as long as it actually gets done. Now, curved pieces like this can be a little bit tricky, so just go slow. Try to keep edges flush, and if a corner comes apart like that, you can just slowly push it back into place. And yeah. I found that going slow avoids many hassles. So just go slow, pay attention, and you will wind up with a fantastic piece. Whatever piece you're making. That's not going to work. Alright. Now we have the front part of our Gundam torso. And I will glue the rest of these pieces together in a minute. Okay, so, the front of the torso is done, but as you can see, it's a little floppy, a little wiggly. So, we're going to fix that by adding the top pieces. Number 7, 8, and 7 again. So, that means more gluing. Also means wearing my respirator again. Yay! So, here we go. I'm going to start by gluing pieces 7, 8, and 7 together, and then we'll put them here. Now, these pieces are all 6mm foam, so it's kind of flexible still, but at the same time it'll add some more structure to it when I get them all glued together. Also, while I'm doing this, I'd like to thank Odin and Dan Does Junk and Tiffany Gordon Cosplay for all of their Gundam making tutorials. This cosplay would not be possible without their advice. So, thank you. And now we wait for these pieces to dry. That'll be about 10 minutes. So, I'll be back when that's done. Okay. 10 minutes has passed, and it is time to glue these pieces together. So, that's what I'm going to do. And now essentially This is all just one piece with the same bevel. Now, you might be wondering, Ryan, why didn't you just cut that all out of one piece? Truthfully, I don't remember. But this is how we did it, so this is what we're doing. Alright, now we get to glue this in here. Which means more contact cement and more respirator wearing. Alright. When you're applying contact cement, try to get it only where you want it. Because any contact cement will show differently through your paint job. So, like, say, for example, if I were to drip some contact cement here, the place where I dripped the contact cement would show up slightly differently on the paint job. And I don't want that. I want a nice, consistent sheen. Same texture, same look, same colors. Now there's a little bit right here, but that's not really going to matter because this is the bottom. You might have noticed that I did not put contact cement here or here. That is because the torso will need to come apart. The front and the back will need to be separatable. I don't know if that's the word, but it is now. Also, when you are using contact cement, it is important to get complete coverage, because any place you don't cover with contact cement, the contact cement will not stick to, because contact cement sticks to itself. Alright, you know the drill. 10 minutes, I'll be back, yada yada yada. Yep, glue is dry, and now we attach. Okay, so this gap was not supposed to be there. Now, at this point, I can either fold these together, which would make this come down a little bit. Don't really want that. Or I can fill this in with hot glue. I think I'm going to do that. And now what I'm doing here is filling in this little gap with hot glue to make sure the pieces hold. All right. By the way, this is one of the hot glue guns I won from Odin Makes, so thank you, Odin. This thing is so helpful. Alright. Now our hot glue has cooled or dried or whatever you want to call it. And now we can focus on gluing these things so that it'll look more like this than this. To do that, you guessed it, we're going to add some more pieces. Like piece 3 and 4 and 9. Which means more contact cement. Okay, so as you can see, I have remade piece 4 so that it bevels correctly on both sides. I've also added some glue to edge M and to L of piece 9. But before we do that, let's attach pieces 3 and 4 to pieces 1 and 2. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Like this. All right. I'm going to start by lining up the corner of pieces 2 and 3. So they all come together like that. And then I'm going to add piece 3 to piece 1 by attaching the B edges. Like so. Or I would, except I didn't glue edge B on piece 3. So let me take care of that. Actually, let me show you what it looks like over here. Again, lining up the corners. Making sure the edge stays nice and flush. Like that. And fold the pieces together. And attach edge B. Like that. And as you can see, this piece really helps pull this side closer and hold its shape much better. And now I'm going to apply some glue here, but you don't need to see that. So I'll be back when that's done. All right, and we are well on our way to finishing this Gundam. Yes, very exciting. Cockpit piece will go down here. Oh, and this little hole opening is where I'm going to put the light. It should be this little green circle concave, no, convex thing right there. But that will have to wait for another video because this is the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share if you want. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will be happy to get back to you. Again, thank you very much for watching and have a great day.